Hello there, this is Roberto Matthews with a tutorial for you. Today we're going to work on something very interesting. What I'd like to do is, this is my regular website that I had to build for a client, and my website, or my client rather, would like a blog on her site. So as you can see here, I have all the separate pages, and I have a nice little fixed background and things like that. And right here, I have a link to the blog. Now, the way the blog works right now is if I click on the blog, it redirects to delivering the mail, blogger version. And as you can see, there is, it just looks unprofessional. It looks like there's nothing that can be done. It just doesn't look very well. And obviously, she can update the blog herself, and I'm going to show you how to do that also. But what we're going to talk about is formatting Blogger blog so that it looks like you have not even left the main site. And we're going to put some links at the top so that no matter what she clicks on, or whoever visit the site clicks on, can go back to the main page, and it flows very smoothly. So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing we're going to do is, I'm imagining you already know how to create a Blogger blog. You just go to blogger.com and you create a new Blogger, and it's going to give you you decide what name you're going to give it, and it's going to give this this suffix of blogspot.com. Once you do that, the one we're going to pick is the simplest layout, or the simplest theme, which is the simple theme down here. So we're going to go to simple, and we're just going to pick the one with no formatting at all. Okay. So once we click that, then you end up with this type of blog. Okay. So from there, we're going to do some simple things first, and then we're going to get more complicated. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take away this bar here. Okay. This blogger bar. So to do that, we're going to go to our layout, and we're going to do a lot of things in our layout and a lot of things in our theme here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Nav Bar, which is right here. That Nav Bar is this bar right here. So we're going to click on Nav Bar. We're going to say edit. And right now it's got this transparent bar. We're going to say off and say save. And once it's saved, we're going to refresh. And as you can see, now it's gone. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the theme. I'm going to click on customize, the little arrow on the side, and I'm going to go to mobile settings. Now we're going to make this page responsive. And so instead of saying mobile, we're going to say desktop. So whatever the desktop that we do, it's going to stay that way. So we're going to say save. Okay. And if I'm going too quick, just we're doing that for time's sake, but of course you can always go back to any part of the video you'd like and rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. Even slow it down so that you can follow along. Okay. So now, after we've gone ahead and made this a desktop version, the same whether or not you're on your mobile phone, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go right again and go to the edit HTML. Now, again, you have to be very careful with editing your HTML here, because any problems you make here, it's just going to mess up everything. So what you might want to do first is back up if you have anything already in there, you want to back it up. And then if you come to any catastrophic issues, you can restore and start all over. But we're going to go ahead and edit the HTML. And the first thing we're going to do is change this Meta Viewport so that it's actually mobile friendly. Okay, so to do that, we're going to we're going to do mobile viewport. We're going to click on the W3 Schools version here. And this is the line that we need. So we're going to click on this line. We're going to say copy. We're going to go back to the Blogger HTML, and we're going to select everything that's viewport right here. And we're going to say delete and paste. Now notice we have to make sure we do this type of closing tag. We have to do the absolute closing tag. If not, Blogger doesn't like it. So we're going to do just like that. And then we're going to say save. And then the update successful is what you want to see. So now when we come back here and we refresh, when we go to the mobile version, now I'm using Google Chrome. So if I right click anywhere that doesn't have any tags, I'll get this inspect option right here. We're going to go to the inspect option. We're going to say show the device toolbar. In other words, the mobile toolbar here. And now we're on a mobile version of it. We're going to refresh. And as you can see, it looks very well here. So now we have our mobile versions just like this. Now we got to fix all of this so that it actually becomes responsive. So let's go ahead and do that part too. So let's go back to our regular version, refresh, take away this mobile version up here. There we go. Now, what I'd like to do is go to my area here. Let's go back. Let's get out of the HTML version. And we're going to go to our layout. And we're going to change our layout by doing the theme designer. Okay, so we're going to go to the theme designer here. Okay, so now I don't want this sidebar because it's just going to take up some real estate when we get to the mobile version. So I don't really need it. So we're going to go to our layout. We're going to change it from this section like this to just a regular all the way down one size fits all kind of area. And then we're going to just say save. Now you'll notice that I'm going to be checking a lot very often because that's kind of how I roll. I like to just update very often what's going on. So we're going to refresh. And as you can see, we have one size here. Now we're going to go to the mobile version. Let's refresh here. And as I go responsive, as you can see, now it's much nicer. It's very responsive. Everything kind of flows very well. And now we have a responsive website just like that. Okay. Now we can go about the business of reformatting our site. Okay. So let's go ahead and bring this again back to normal. Let's take away the mobile version here. Now we're on the desktop version. Notice there's not much of a change because all we did was make it responsive. So it really doesn't matter whether it's on the mobile version or not. It's completely responsive. Okay. So now we're going to go back to our Blogger blog and we're going to be using our regular page as a reference. Okay. So the first thing, let's go from the background here. So this background is a map. So let's go ahead and find the map, the actual photo of the map. So we're going to say inspect, and then we're going to go to our body. And as you can see, this is the actual map right here. And it's just an Unsplash source. So as you can see, let's go ahead and get that source, that Unsplash source. So let's go to unsplash.com. And all I did was find map. And I scrolled through and I kind of found something similar to this one. Actually, this is the one that I used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use its code and add it to my background. So to do that, we're going to attach it to our body. So how do we get to the body tag? Well, let's just go to the body tag. We're going to go to the edit HTML. And this is why we use the simple one, because the simple one is written very, very easy. You can see the CSS right up here, all the styling. And then you have, all your all your widgets and things like that. But we're not going to go into the actual widget. We're just going to go into the styling. So let's go down here where it says body. Blogger did a great job of just kind of spacing it out for us. So here's our body. And so we're going to say, instead of background just like this, we're going to, now I wouldn't erase anything. What I would do is comment it out and then add my information. So let's say background image is URL. Okay. And then we're going to say what we said before, http source.unsplash.com. Paste in that little part, say 1280 by 720. Okay. And then we said that it was background size this cover, and then we said background attachment is fixed. Okay, and so we save that right up here. It says update successful. If we refresh this, we should get the same thing, just like that. Now, you'll notice that in here, it's kind of like bright like this. Well, that's because we have these linear gradients covering everything up, okay? So we're going to do the same thing. Let's go ahead and copy this part. All of this. We're just copying it. And we're going to bring it over to the body here. Instead of just we're going to say linear gradient. There's our linear gradient. All of this right here, plus the URL. And so now when we save that and we refresh, now we have that nice gradient on our background. Okay, very nice. So now the next part is we need to take the body here or the actual content right here. We're going to add a nav bar right up here. So to do that, we're going to go back to our layout. And instead of this nav bar like we have here, we have our header right here. We're going to turn off this header. Okay, so now we no longer have that header like this. So if we come back and we refresh, there's no header. Okay, and so then after that, we're going to do this cross column right here. So in the cross column, that's where we're going to put our header. So our nav bar. So we're going to put a little nav bar here. Let's just go ahead and use this HTML JavaScript. So we're going to add that. Okay, and this is where our navigation is going to go. So we're going to let's put this out of our page for a second, and let's go to our nav bar right up here. And our nav bar, if we drill in, we can see that the nav bar, move this out of the way a little bit. So let's go to our wrapper. Here's our nav bar. So here's all the reference information for our nav bar. Okay, we're going to add our navigation area, and we're going to call it, let's call it div ID equals blogger nav. Okay. And in there, we're going to put all of those navigations. So let's move this out of the way for a second. And let's go to our navigation here. And let's just copy all of this. Okay. So we're editing all of this, and we're just taking all of this, all of this here. And we're going to copy that. We're going to bring it over. Okay. And there we have it. So let's just tidy all this up a little bit. Okay, so it's all tidied up. Now, these hrefs obviously won't point back to our site because right now we're inside of the Blogger site. So in order to fix this better, what we're going to do is we're going to just take this first one here and say http www.deliveringthemail.com index. You see that? And so all we have to do is copy all of this. Say copy and just add this to all of these. And there is our blogger. And there we go. So now we save this. And we should have our HTML script in there. So let's go ahead and refresh. And there's our HTML script right here. Okay. So obviously we wanted to make it look just like this one. So let's go ahead and add the style to the actual nav. So let's go ahead and go to our theme again, go to our HTML. And now we have in the body, let's see, this is the content body, the header, let's see the tabs. Let's make one instead of body. Well, let's go in the body here right above the header, and then go to our blogger nav and say padding 10 pixels, background. And let's see what our background was. Copy that. Okay. And then we go to our blogger nav A. Text decoration, none. And then we say, what else? Color. Let's figure out what this color is. It's not really white. So let's go ahead and see what this color is. F2, F7, F1. Let's go ahead and do that. F2, F7, F1. F2, F7, F1 without the shifts. And then we say save. Refresh. And we still aren't getting it. Let's see. What is the problem here? Let's go to our blogger nav. Oh, because I put that there. So now we have that. Okay, good. It helps if we don't add the wrong information here. So there we go. So now we have our navigation working perfectly here. Now let's see what is next. As you can tell, we have this like this. Let's see what happens when we go here. Oh, we need to, when we hover, we need some margins, right? So like if I go to the A here, you can see that the A has text decoration on, transition, okay? And we have to do something when we hover. So let's do margin. We have a margin right of 10. Let's see. Okay, so let's go here. And we say we have a margin right of 10 pixels. And then we have a transition, 0.4 seconds. What else did we have? Okay, looks like that's it. So that when we hover, then we have text decoration of underline. So let's go ahead and do that. Copy that. Hover. Text decoration underline. Okay, we save this. And when we refresh, what's the problem here? This didn't save, so we have to make sure this. Oh, I know why it didn't save. It didn't save because I have to make sure that I'm not in this panel here. So we got to get back out of here, and then we save this. Then we can save this, because there's a conflict if we use that and the other thing at the same time. There we go. Now we have everything the way we want it. So now we can go back into the HTML here. So when you're using the HTML editor, you can't use the actual HTML at the same time. Okay. So let's see here. So what is missing? So what's missing now is that this is all the way to the edge, but as you can see, it's not all the way to the edge here. Okay, so to do that, we have to find where our edges are. So to do that, let's go to the region inner, tabs inner. Let's see, we have our width, max width, etc. Let's see if we can find, here's our tabs inner padding. Okay, so tabs inner is what we got to look for. So let's go ahead and get to our tabs inner. So let's find that. So if we just do a Command F, we can go to tabs inner. And right here on the right, if you're on Chrome, you'll see everywhere that it has tabs inner, and we can go down. Here's our tabs inner right here, tabs inner again, tabs inner. So I don't see anything that has tabs inner. Let's see. Tabs inner. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything that talks about the width here. So let's go back to the width here, the padding. So we're going to go and overwrite this padding right here. So to overwrite that padding, we're going to go right in here. This is all the header information. We're going to go to the tabs inner and say padding 0. And let's see what happens there. So we'll save that. We'll come back to here, refresh, and voila, we have no more padding there. So let's go to the content inner. Content inner right here. And we see the padding right there. We could take that padding off. So let's go ahead to content inner and do that. So we're going to go to content inner. First, we find out if there's any other content inner. So we say Command F. So we say content inner. And we go through all of the content inners that have styling. Here's our padding right here for content inner. Okay. Very good. So now that we found the content inner padding, again, you don't want to erase what there's already there. So we're just going to comment that out. I'm going to say padding 0, save, refresh. Beautiful. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we want. Okay. Let's go ahead and add the next thing, which is this panel right here. Now, so as you can see, this panel has a few elements. It has this picture right here. Okay. And it has a background picture right here. We're going to do another HTML element with this and this. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go back to our template and go to our layout. And here's our cross column that we had from before. We're going to add another widget, and we're going to put it in our cross column 2 right here. Let's go ahead and add a widget. So how do we add a widget where we don't see anything right here? Well, basically, you just add a widget anywhere. Let's add an HTML widget. And let's put a couple of things in there. So let's start out with the image. So we're going to have like a, let's call it div ID equals blogger header. And in there, we'll put an image. Source equals, and then I'm going to show you how to put a source here. Alt will equal logo, DTM logo, deliver the mail logo. Okay. And again, we'll make sure we escape all that right there. And we say save. Okay. So now we have our HTML script here. So all we have to do is drag it a few times because I can't reach it. So let's drag it here. And we put it right in there. right in the cross column 2. Okay. So now we have this set up. What do we put in here? Well, we're going to have to put a couple of pictures. So the first picture we're going to put, let's wait till this saves. Okay. So right now we don't have anything there. We just see there's nothing in there, but it's right here. Blogger header. Very nice. But there's nothing in the blogger header except the source that we have here. Okay. So let's go ahead and add this source. So to do that, we're going to go to the blog, the actual blog. We're going to say new post. Okay. And we're going to name this new post uploaded photos. Okay. So I don't have to do that because I've already done that. So we're going to go to here and say delete. And as you can see, if we go to my uploaded images, let's delete this right here. If I just press insert, you can upload from your computer. Once I upload from the computer, this doesn't matter. None of this matters, but let's just say original size. You're going to get all this information. All you need is this href right here. So we're going to go from here all the way to the end of it, which is right here. We're going to say copied. We're going to go to our, let's go back here and let's go to our layout. Here's our cross column number 2. We're going to say edit here. Our source is all of this, right? When we say save, we're going to view the blog. And there's our logo. Okay. So now obviously we want the logo to have everything we needed. Okay. So what we're going to do actually is we're going to use our information that we did up here all over again. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's do it. Let's do blogger header image. Okay. And then DTM logo. We're going to run that. And there's our information. We're going to go to the styling right here. And we're going to say that the, well, actually, let's see. Did I call it blogger header here? Yeah, blogger header. So that's that part. And so then we're going to take and edit this information so that it looks just like this information. Okay. So what did we do here? Let's go to, we said that the background, we did a text align center, background image. Actually, we didn't do much. Just said text line center. And we also have in the header, we have the logo. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to say logo and put this inside there. Okay. Now we have all this inside there. So we're going to take our blogger header. We're not doing anything with it right now. We're going to say logo. And we're going to say the width, the max width is 350 pixels. And then we're going to say logo image, the width of 100%. And then we're going to say margin, let's say 10 pixels auto. So we can run that. And there we have it. It's nice and centered and it's responsive, as you can see. Okay. So now we're going to give the blogger header a background. So how do we do that? We do the same thing to upload. Let's go to our posts. To upload the image we need for the background, we'll do the same thing. We already have the photo uploaded, but we would normally upload the photo. We say select original size. Okay. And we don't. Now you'll see that there's two sources here. You want the first source, the one that it's referring to, because that's the original picture. So we're going to say copy. And then we're going to say, we're going to go back. We're going to go to our layout. Going to go to cross column 2. And actually, we're going to go to our pen here. And we're going to say, oops, undo that. We're going to say background image. And we're going to paste that in. So we run that. And as you can see, it's working. But we want it to be background position 0, 0. Background size, cover. And that should be it. There you go. And that works out beautifully. Okay, so now that we have all this set up, let's go ahead and copy all of this. Bring it to our widget. Paste it in there. Say save. Okay. Then we're going to go to our theme. Go to customize, edit HTML. We're going to go down here to our, let's put it under header. Let's go to the header here. And add our styling. Copy that. Bring it over here. Paste it in. Okay. Say save. And now when we go here and refresh, now we have a beautiful background here that all we have to do now is change the margining. So let's go ahead and do that. So it looks like we can click on here, the widget content. Let's see, widget HTML. Yeah, it looks like it's the widget HTML. So let's go ahead and test our theory. So if we go to styling of the widget HTML, you can see that the margin is 30. So we can go to right here, div. This div right here has all of the padding and everything. So let's go ahead and fix that. So the ID is actually HTML4. Okay, let's refresh. There we go. So we fixed that issue right there. So, but we have this little gap right here. So let's see where this gap is coming from. So now that we have this, you can see that it's actually responsive. So you can see it's very responsive, but it's not quite the way we want to do it. So we refresh here. And there we have it. Now it looks like we have the outside here is not very responsive. So let's fix that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to here. We're going to find min width. And you can see here that the min width of the body and the min width of the content is set that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through here, comment this out. We're going to go through here and comment all this out. And now our body doesn't have any max or min width, and the content, what we're going to do is going to say max width is whatever this is. So let's see what the max width is here. Go to our wrapper, and it looks like our max width is 960 pixels. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Max width, 960 pixels. Let's save this and see what happens. Refresh. Okay, let's go to, and that's much nicer. That's really what we're looking for. A nice, responsive site here. Perfect. Okay, very nice. Let's go ahead and make this size of this a little bit bigger because I'm not liking how small let's see, take a look at it. Yeah, I'm not liking how small all this information is. Let's see how big these are actually. So let's say font size is 12 pixels. Okay, let's start going up. So it looks like it's 16 pixels. Okay, so let's go ahead and make that 16 pixels also. So what do we have here? Blogger Nav A. So let's go to Blogger Nav A. And so we say font size 16 pixels. Say save. And we refresh. And now this is the proper size here. So that looks pretty good so far. I like it. When we go inside here, that's really good. I click on galleries, it brings me to the regular website galleries. If I click on blog, it brings me to the blog and it looks pretty nice. So on part 2, we're going to work on all of this padding that we have here and see what's going on with all of this padding. So if you want to know more, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to get notifications so we can talk about part 2 of how we're going to get this site to look more like this site. Okay, so far we're pretty close on our Blogger site. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.